Okay, well, turn 5 was probably quieter than it could have been. 6 action rounds. Both sides drew a fairly mediocre hand. And, well, both invested pretty strong cards in the political phase. As a result, the only real change was that Ukraine just shifted that one box towards white control. So white placed all these Ukrainian forces. However, both the Ukrainian and Polish political involvement tracks are very far to the left, so they can't do a great deal. There's a no act on Ukraine. Polish forces can only operate within Poland, so Red's not too threatened by this at this stage. Now, in the action phase, the Whites began by putting pressure on the Reds, sort of in that central eastern region near Stalin, northeast of Stalin. And the Reds responded by moving an army up and threatening those Siberians in Samara, whilst also capturing the gold and silver reserve and Kazan in the process, which was unoccupied at the time. Now the Whites quickly responded by playing switch sides against this pretty strong Red army, which was just based outside Samara. That was successful, and that opened up a pretty big gap in the Red lines. Kazan is held by a corps. There's another Red corps to the northwest there, and then there is Stalin and those two Red armies in Saratov, which are looking like they'll be isolated very soon. The Red response to this was to play their Southeast Operations cards, which opens up all these boxes in the Southeast region, places the Turkestan army. And with that, Red began an offensive in this region. They moved from box to box towards Khiva, and that poor 2-value Kievan army didn't stand much of a chance against the Reds there and were defeated. And Red has captured Khiva. They were also moving an army north towards Omsk, and those poor Siberian Cossack corps, there's only 2 left down there, whilst the rest of the Siberian forces have moved off to the west and northwest. So Red's in a good position here to continue their offensive. Now along the way, the Red Army up in the north recaptured Kotlas and sent the reduced American corps retreating back up to the northwest. That army also then shifted to the left to really protect their supply lines and also get rid of that other British corps in the region. In the centre, near Voronezh, the Reds played ill-advised attack on the Whites, which basically forces the Whites to attack Trotsky and this strong Red force. The Reds came off better here. Whites suffered a few step losses and are much reduced. And the Red plan is here to really recapture Voronezh as soon as they can. At the same time, Whites played their successes in the south event card, I think it's called, which brings on Wrangel in the Don region. Because they were forced to discard a card, they were 1 card down the action round, and they played 1 activation to remove that no act marker, with Wrangel in that space to remove that, and then free up those 2, I think they're Don armies in the centre there. This, yeah, as I said, frees them to respond to Makhno and the Astrakhan forces and other threats from Red in this area. And then finally, to round out the turn, Red's played another replacement card, which they've been doing. They still have a lot of dead units, and despite playing all these replacements, they're still struggling to bring back on all these armies with all the losses they're suffering. And yeah, that rounded out the turn.